So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes. One life, I'ma do all to win it. I do what's right, push until I fall, I'm slipping to get back I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, 'cause that's what it takes.
All right, guys, welcome. Happy Sunday, July 7th. Let me get my guest in here. And grab your drinks, grab your smokes. We're going to hopefully have a little bit of fun tonight. Let's see who we got in the back room here. Mediocre Trader, otherwise affectionately known as the Monkey Tamer. How you doing, friend?
Good, you?
I'm doing all right. Can't complain. Well, I could, but nobody would listen.
You ready for tomorrow?
I am, yeah. I've been working all day, and what time is it? It's 9 o'clock. What time did I talk to you? Like at lunchtime? I said, let me just get this one video out, and then we can talk about doing a live stream. 7 hours later, I finally finished that damn Chewy video. You guys, you wonder why I don't put out a lot of videos. 7 hours to do a 12-minute video. That's how long it takes to do a real DD video. I should just go on my phone and say whatever the fuck people want to hear and not put anything on the screen, not back any of it up, and just crank 5 of those babies out a day, Mediocre.
A lot of people do that, Tony.
I know. I mean, why don't I follow that model? I don't get it. Why am I so determined to like back up what I say with facts and filings? I don't know. Let's bring in Corax. Maybe he's got an idea about why I'm so screwed up in the head.
Yeah, Corax. What's up, Chad, everybody?
Let me run his little intro here. Corax be smacking some shills in his intro.
Hey, I'm sorry if I upped the dress code here with my tuxedo.
Oh, I wore my tuxedo too, and my top hat.
Hold on, hang on. Here, I'll match here. Is this better?
I think you missed this one, Mediocre, but apparently like PP was confusing my trench coat for a tuxedo on one of his live streams.
I find PP and his crew very entertaining, but I was chuckling when I was watching your live stream the other night, and my good friend Mike, you know Mike, the butterfly kid, he said that guy Corax wears a weird costume. I'm like, I've watched a lot of PP's show, and that guy wears some weird costumes too. So
I had up there on the board, you can see it up there, I think, is PP with his crown and his little look, everyone's got their gimmicks.
Everyone's got their thing. I mean, we're here to entertain you guys. Why would you criticize someone's costume?
And really, if you hate me, but you like CoffeeZilla, I want to know what the difference is between how he dresses and how I dress.
I don't know. I don't know I've never heard them talk about CoffeeZilla, but I get it. I get where you're going. You're trying to do the sort of CoffeeZilla for retail trading type thing. Right?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, it didn't start out like that, but it just kind of fell into place. And you know what? If that's what people want to see, I'm more than happy to provide.
Well, let's talk about movies real quick and what you guys did in the past week. I've kind of been unplugged for the last week, not unplugged from everything going on,
Cheers.
just unplugged from YouTube. Cheers. Because my wife totaled her car last Sunday. And so we're, for the moment, one vehicle. I'm having to give her a ride to work every morning and then pick her up every evening. We've had all this craziness going on in the stock market. We got people losing their damn minds trying to come up with DD ideas about what Roaring Kitty's doing. And it's like taking every ounce of energy I have to keep my mouth fucking shut. That's what I'm going to say. So I'm just like, if I Tony, I think it's just better if you don't, no, just zip it. Let Roaring Kitty speak for himself. And then he never did. So I went and saw a movie this weekend. I saw Kinds of Kindness, which stars William Dafoe. And who else is in that one? It's like 5 big stars. Emma Stone, I think. It's almost a 3-hour movie, 3 movies inside a movie. Guys, this is a very weird film. I'm just going to tell you. It is out there. You're going to, I published a review on Twitter and on my community tab. You're going to need your imagination hat for this one. If you like traditional movies, don't even waste your time with this one. If you enjoy being challenged in your thinking and seeing something different, you might like this one. I enjoyed it. I was cracking up. I was trying to figure out what the hell was I watching. It wasn't bad. It's just different. It's actual film art.
Yeah.
So it's getting horrible reviews because people go in there expecting one thing and their hit is like, psh, psh. Oh man, what did I just watch?
All I gotta say, Jeff, is that shit was pretty funny.
Jeff says, oh, you can only give financial advice if your trailer is at least a double wide. Oh my goodness. Yeah, nothing tonight is nothing ever really on this channel is financial advice. We talk about stocks that we like. We talk about stocks that people are spreading misinformation on. We talk about stocks that we're invested in, stocks that we're thinking about trading. It's always opinion, but I mean, we try and give opinion based on fact and financial statements. I know Mediocre, you do a lot of momentum trading, as do I. That has nothing to do with fundamentals, financials. We do squeeze plays. We're in and out on tickers for day trading. There's a wide variety of trading styles out there, guys. I guess my channel is confusing to people because I kind of do a little bit of everything with my trading style. Would you say would that lead people to be confused, Mediocre? I had people on Corax's channel calling me out. They said, Tony, I don't get you. You've been bullish on AMC for years. We had a squeeze play in 2021 that didn't work out. And then we had to pivot how we looked at the play as we entered a recessionary period. Company starts running out of cash. They have to do this fucking ape thing. But I was still invested in the stock. Of course, I'm going to cover it. But guys, every pumper out there for AMC has me blocked. So if you think that my content is bullish, what does that tell you when all the pumpers have me blocked? How bullish could I really be? I'm just talking about a stock. It drives me nuts.
Yeah,
talking about it, people equate to you're pumping or you're bullish. Just talking about a stock. You got to make up your own fucking mind. If you don't want someone to influence you, don't fucking watch. I'm sharing opinions.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that we bounce a lot of stuff off each other. Tony and I do. We talked for a couple hours the other day specifically about AMC, which you know, it's all about the numbers, right? What I think, what he thinks, whatever. But the truth of the matter is, I mean, AMC could do whatever you guys make it do. Okay, momentum wise, right? As far as fundamentals of the company, I don't know, right? You'll have to dive
We
in.
talked a lot about that this week in Mediocre. I don't know if we'll get into that tonight or save it for another night.
No, we should save it for another night. But
That
what
was
I'm
some
trying to
deep
say
thought.
is it was, and that's what I'm saying. That those are conversations we have. That's what I'm trying to say. Is it's not about do I think this thing's going to go to $100? Because I'll tell you flat out, I don't think it ever will. And you can hate me for that if you choose to. I don't. That's not my
No,
problem.
it's just reality. And for some people, reality is a pain in the ass because it gets in the way of their fantasies.
Right? I'm in the stock market to make money, not to sit here and live on hopes and dreams. I don't do that.
You're not here for the billions of synthetics, Mediocre?
Yeah. Show me the evidence and I'll believe you.
Yeah, someone want to figure me out on this whole cost thing. I know it's been kind of a meme stock, but what was with this week? Was there anything in particular that got people's panties in a wedge to just run it or something? What
microphone?
Well, I can tell you what it wasn't. It was not Roaring Kitty. He had nothing to do with it. He never has anything to do with anything that moves.
It was that string of emojis in one of his clips. And one out of 30 emojis, or 35, 36 of them, I think there were 36. I know way too much about this. 36 emojis.
Oh, well, good, because I know nothing about it.
One of them happened to be a dog, and he bought Chewy. So people said, aha, well, I can't figure out the 30 before that, but the dog obviously means Chewy. So we must decode the meaning of the next 4 or 5.
Oh, for the love of...
And the next one was a microphone. So obviously that's costs.
American flag, a microphone, and
cost.
Music letter.
Buy it before July 4th, or maybe buy it before the debate. And if that is not it, then maybe the flag means the election. I mean, you know how the goalpost shifting happens.
Oh yeah, when one, it's like the Nostradamus shit. If the prediction doesn't work, just move on to the next.
Yeah, that's already happening, guys. That's already happening. The goalpost shifting is in full effect.
If I wasn't locked up in a play, I would have took advantage of that, but I did not.
And it's not to say that Cost is necessarily a horrible company. It's not great. They have some. They don't make, like, I think last quarter they lost money, but they're like kind of this ebb and flow company. They're not like super awesome, but they're not absolute garbage.
It was beautiful for day traders, momentum traders. It may end up being awful for anybody that bought based on the social media hype, and they got in and
then got out
and did not get out. If they didn't get out, you know, now you're stuck with one more ticker where you've got to count on a miracle, and maybe that miracle will come, but I mean, I haven't heard Roaring Kitty talk about it yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I wish Roaring Kitty would come back to the mic and talk about his fundamentals of companies and stuff like that.
Roaring Kitty would start talking about the companies I'm in.
Right?
Oh my goodness.
Maybe he's going to take all of his big winnings and buy into AMC, right?
Oh, yeah. He's going to take all his big winnings and he's going to pump my Kirk bags.
Love Star said he made $5,000 on costs. I love it. I had a lot of you guys message me and say you made money on costs. I've had people tell me they made money in Chewy and GME. That's all I want to hear, because it really it wears on me. Like someone said, why are you posting about GameStop? Are you mad? Why would I be mad? I've been profitably trading GameStop for almost 2 years now. The thing that weighs on me is seeing all these people listening to price targets, which you guys know, if you've watched me for 3 years, I don't give price targets. But I will tell you when a chart looks like it's getting toppy. But that's just technical analysis and still opinion. But everyone's saying hold cost
You
to
don't have that
1,000,
predictive algorithm, do you,
hold
Tony, yet?
hold Chewy to 1,000, whatever, Then I got to deal with for the next 3 years people saying, "Oh, I listened to so and so saying Chewy was going to 1,000, and now I'm 30 in the hole, 30K in the hole on Chewy." That stuff gets old for me to hear that over and over.
I'm not trying to get in the hole, Tony. I'm trying to keep styling dollar bills, pennies. I'm trying to stack pennies, Tony. I gotta
Pennies
keep it.
eventually become dollars.
Lauren says, I asked you in your last video if you thought it was possible that Roaring Kitty moved from Chewy to Cost. So I did put out a video today, guys, on Chewy based on the last week of, as I had free time, digging into this stuff, watching earnings calls, reading through 10Qs, reading through SEC filings. And it's not impossible work, but I only have so much free time to dig into a new company. Chewy's been, it's dropped from $120 in 2021 down to 14. So haven't really had eyes on it until Kitty got back involved. And now we all want to know, why did he invest in Chewy? And I have my thoughts, and I'm going to save them for the next video. And so, Lauren, I can't answer you. Lauren wants to know, did Kitty move from GME to Chewy and then sell Chewy and move to Costs?
Did Kitty say he did?
No.
Then why would you expect him to?
Well, he just wants to know my opinion. Lauren wants to know my opinion. I'll give you my opinion tomorrow because enough of y'all have asked. Maybe we'll talk about it tonight. A bonus for the live stream people. And I'll just put out a video tomorrow recapping. But do you guys want to talk about that? Do you want to talk about, did Roaring Kitty sell his GameStop to buy Chewy, or did he just buy options on Chewy?
Nobody sells GameStop, Tony. Don't you know that?
Oh, that's right. I don't see people rushing to be first to answer the question. Y'all are going to leave me to.
Oh, what was the question?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that was being offered up to us.
The question is, do you want to talk tonight about, do you think he sold GameStop to buy Chewy? Did he get mad? Was the red bandana a fuck me moment?
I
McEnroe
interpreted it that way, and he just kind of picked up his ball. Like, I don't know if he picked up his ball and went home. Well, it's hard to tell because, like, you can interpret that's kind of I think the whole thing is like, you can interpret whatever you want to out of his memes. And I think that's kind of the point. But I definitely got the vibe that he listened to that shareholders meeting, and, Ryan Cohen, to his credit, was like trying to, I think he's always tried to keep the meme stock community at arm's length. It's like, I'm just trying to run a business here, guys. Like a lot of these
I'll be the bad guy.
do. And
you ready for this?
So
hang on, let Corex finish.
And so I think, he was like, what the fuck, dude? Also, I think part of it was there was no definite plan in that shareholders meeting. It was just more of the same old stuff. We're working to get, GameStop profitable. There was no projected plan on what that was supposed to look like or what they'd be doing or anything. And so he was like, you're killing me, Smalls. And just like, fuck it. I guess I'll go to a company that actually seems to tell its shareholders what the fuck it's doing.
I don't disagree with you, Corex, but I will add this. If Ron Kitty wanted everybody to know what he did, he would have been transparent with his position. Yeah. So that tells me that he didn't want to be transparent. I don't think he owns any GameStop, if you ask me.
He's not updated his position on Reddit since June 13th.
Why is that, Tony?
Mediocre. He doesn't want to give the hedge funds the inside track on his plan.
Oh.
Just like Ryan Cohen, he's not going to tell you.
Theory.
Ryan Cohen's not going to answer any analyst questions. Why would a CEO give any guidance?
Yeah, I don't know,
Oh
Tony.
my
That
goodness,
would,
yeah. Like who would want to know any sort of guidance as to what the company wants to do so they can make forward projections based on future cash flows? Man,
if
it's
I
not
had a
like the
quarter
whole
of $1 billion
market is
in a
based around
company,
that.
if I had
You
a quarter
know, you
billion
know
dollars
who,
in a company with no guidance, I wouldn't stick around either.
correct. You know who thinks it's okay to not give guidance?
Mm,
Someone who only owns GameStop and has never
lol.
listened to another earnings call.
I
That's
mean,
about the size of the population. If you think it's okay to not give guidance, then that tells me that the only calls you've ever listened to are GameStop. Because everybody gives guidance. I mean, that is the norm. That is the minimum expectation. In my opinion, I'd
Yep.
sure love to see some guidance. I'd love to go buy me some GameStop. Tell me how you're going to use that $4 billion, Ryan. Tony, don't ask him that. Just buy it now and believe.
That's why I take everything that happens with Roaring Kitty with like a grain of salt. I don't take it
yeah,
serious at all.
probably for the best.
I'd rather miss a good run up than lose my money. So it's all good.
I'm getting really close. You know, GameStop's getting really close to a price where I think it's fairly risk free. What do we close at on Friday?
I don't know. Let me
I
look. I'll
mean,
look at
nothing's risk free, but $24.
Well,
You know,
there's one thing that's risk free. They're called government treasuries. That's why it's called the risk free rate.
yeah, but I'm in the stock market to gamble a little bit, Forex.
Of course.
I want to get the most risk-free entry on a speculative play that I can. I know that GameStop is speculative until they have earnings or they announce a plan. Because I mean, let's just play devil's advocate for 1 second, because I love to do that. Worst case scenario, they don't have any plan for the next year, and the core business continues to decline. And then we're just stuck hoping they invest the $4 billion in something, like treasuries or something reasonable while
it.
they're figuring out what to do. If that happens, if that's the worst case scenario, GameStop's just going to languish for a year.
It closed at 24.18.
Yeah, if that happens, GameStop's just going to languish. But I hope just like you guys that they have a plan. But as I talk to people that are in the industry and smarter than me, they're like, Tony, there's just not a lot of great deals out there right now. I mean,
I would disagree with that. I'll let you finish. Sorry.
Look at Chewy. They had $1 billion and they literally said, we can't find anything better to do with the money than to buy back $1 billion worth of shares.
I disagree with that assessment, Anya. It can be. You can do cigarette butt value investing, but someone like why am I blanking on it? But like there's value investors who the whole point is buying a good company at a fair price rather than a fair company at a good price. So you can be like maybe you see Apple, or you see some of these tech companies that it's not the best price you could possibly get, but compared to where it's going, it's a good enough price and you'll make money. So it really depends on your strategy for value investing. Warren Buffett. There you go.
Sparky says Koss had few shares. Yeah, I mean, Koss was a excellent low float FOMO play.
Yep. Like the volume on that was ridiculously low.
All right. And you know what drives me nuts? These people that have been every day, I see them in the stock market commenting on stocks, and they say, how could a stock with a low float trade that float 6 times in one day?
Day traders.
That is not a sign of any malfeasance.
It's magic, Tony.
It's a sign of the shares are having turnover. Yeah. I mean, you're having day traders trade it quickly
Yeah,
In
I
and
buy
out.
it at $2. I sell it to Tony at 4 because I think
I,
that's a good price. Tony sells it on a Mediocre for 6. Like that's already
everyone
one
I
share
talked
that's
to was fucking
30
trading
times.
that stock. Of course, it's going to have high turnover.
Yeah.
How
I
can
mean, we
you?
trade every week.
And
How
it's
can you?
beautiful because you get better price discovery when you have liquidity that's that smooth, even on a stock that has a available float that's so small. The fact that you can have it trade so liquidly between people is just, I don't get why people see that as malfeasance. That is beautiful. That is that's markets working efficiently. What's the problem with that?
They think that that is evidence of synthetic shares, but it is simply not evidence of synthetic shares. I mean, first of all, brokers have their own internal inventory and their own internal customers.
Yeah.
They clear internally. They don't even need to, go to the DTCC to get shares if they're just
Yeah.
thrashing
How
their
do you think
internal
that?
accounts.
Yeah. How do you think Robinhood does 24-hour trading?
Right. So first of all, you need to understand brokers are just doing internal clearing until they can't, and then they go, they need to go out to another broker to find shares or to the market, and then at the end of the day, there's net settlement. CNS, you guys have heard Bigham's talk about that. What's the word? The Latin word ad nauseum.
Yeah.
All of this stuff is very easily explainable, and the fact that people still think it's some sign of synthetic shares just blows my damn mind.
I usually don't pay much attention to futures this early. I usually wait till about midnight, but it ain't looking pretty. Market, like you got stocks red, bonds red. Dixie is up just a touch, gold and silver down, oil is down, natural gas is up. It's just like red everywhere you look almost.
And this is a big week,
Yeah.
Forex, for news. You got Powell speaking on Tuesday and Wednesday.
What, E-boy, can you clarify what you mean with your first sentence there? GameStop isn't speculative. I mean, I agree with you with the rest of it, but I'm not sure why you started with that. For me, it's speculative because we don't know what they're going to do with the $4 billion.
Yeah.
Everyone understands the core business, and I'm sorry, trading cards is not going to save
Not going to be
GameStop.
it.
I'm trying to be nice and not say anything, and I'll wait and see the earnings in the next quarter. But
it's very simple what they need to do. I've said it on here multiple times. Clear out that physical media garbage that ain't going to sell, that, because I can go to Steam and instantly have a game. Just clear it out, put in some stuff that will sell, get, your D&D sets, your tabletop, your, host events in that empty space if you want to. Like, if you're going to sell trading cards and, sell used trading cards, you might as well have a Pokemon tournament once every month or something.
we need to have a meme of that, the girl and the guy walking down the street, and the man's looking over his shoulder, and the girl next to him is CandyCon controllers, and the other girl is graded trading cards, because man, that whole GameStop crowd, they forgot about those controllers real quick. Whoa, look at this trading card. Guys, they sold 3 of these today for $100 markup. Look, there's 3,000 on the website. I mean, I'm being a little bit pedantic here. I get it.
We need to push Vinegar's DD more. The whole GameStop is buying out Newegg.
For me, look, you guys know how I am. I think that for any company, anything you can do to bring in incremental revenue is a good thing. That's why if you want to talk about GameStop trading cards, you probably shouldn't be shitting on AMC trying to do private label candy or retail popcorn. Everybody's trying to do a new thing. Let them do it. I'm all for GameStop trying to do trading cards. I'm all for AMC doing private label candy to bring in a little bit extra margin, or trying popcorn in retail stores. We'll see if that works out over the long run. Everybody should be trying new stuff when your core business is not ringing all the bells.
Yeah.
At least AMC has, improving revenue, and maybe they get over that profitability hump next year. GameStop's been headed the absolute wrong direction. So let them try trading cards. Maybe that brings in a few extra $1 million. I'm not trying to shit on the trading cards, but when that's the only thing you got to talk about, it could be embarrassing if the numbers don't end
big
up so good.
With the used trading cards is if you get stuck with that inventory at the peak of the market.
I don't know that they're. I haven't dug into it. Like, are they buying the inventory, or are they drop shipping?
From my understanding, they're basically using it like used video games, where they're buying and selling and trading used cards. At least that's my understanding. I could be wrong, but
yeah, if someone knows, I mean, I know you have to have a graded card, first of all, right? You got to go get your card graded,
which is the smart way to do it. At least you have some certification as to what its actual potential value is, possibly based on a grade. Same way you would if you were trading comic books or anything else that's a commodity asset like that.
And then I guess where do they have a central location where they store these cards? Do they have a safe?
I assume.
Do they have a safe in every store?
I don't know.
They just mail them to you, Tony.
Huh?
They just mail them to you.
I know, but like if they're collecting these cards all over the country,
probably just hold them behind the case.
I haven't had time to dig into that. It's something I've been curious about.
If you not my local GameStop store, but like my local trading card store, that's just what they do. They just keep.
Here's my question: if you bought a card for $3,000, you want them sending it through the mail? You think
they do? They do send it through the mail, though. You can insure a package.
Oh, a package.
Right. Yeah, you just send it UPS.
Yeah, that's not mail though.
Anya said, "How did the movies do this weekend?" They did excellent. 100 and was it 154? Anya, I posted it in the Discord. 154 for this holiday weekend, with Despicable Me bringing in pretty decent numbers. I don't think it's going to be the $1 billion movie that some people were thinking it was, but that was not my expectation. And we'll go see it this week. We'll go see Despicable Me, and there's a couple of other ones that I need to go watch this week also. Love Star said AA posted something bullish on the X. All right, I'll pull that up. Oh, the TA. Love Star says the TA looks ready for a run. Mediocre, can we pull up the TA? I don't know which ticker you're talking about, amigo.
You really want me to do this to them, Tony?
No, I want you to look at the TA on GameStop, because I mean it's not looking awful to me, but I haven't spent a ton of time looking at it. So can we just look at? Can I have you look at that while I pull up Adam Aaron's tweet?
Yeah,
I'm gonna take a look at it myself. Not that I keep a bunch of TA at the ready.
Let me minimize this chat. Do you want do you want extended hours on or off?
I use it on.
I mean, if you're a big fan of the Ichimoku, like one of my friends are, it's trading in the cloud. It's pretty much going sideways. I mean, if you want to just trade premium, I mean, that wouldn't be a bad thing to do. Or if you're a little bit more of a risk taker like me, you can just game the system on the what anyone know what the cost to borrow on GameStop is right now?
I do not.
Let me look that up.
Yeah, we have people, I don't want to mention any names, and I don't even know if they're still in their position, but they had sizable position on GameStop and they were just selling calls on it every week.
I mean, that looks like the thing to do right now. It's pretty much just sideways.
And that's not a bad plan. I mean, if you're bullish on GameStop for the long term, I'm not saying 24 is a great entry, but if you like that price and you're bullish on it for the long term, I think just my opinion, it's pretty safe to stay above 18 to $20.
It looks like consolidation to me, Tony.
It does, right? But consolidation to what? To a step up, or to go back down below
Only
20
time will
bucks?
tell. You can't tell that now.
I know. I was hoping you saw something in there I didn't see.
I mean, it's
No.
like it's pretty flat. The cost to borrow right now is 58 bips. So I mean, if you want to trade options, you're just like selling them, not buying them. Obviously,
Right.
I mean that seems like the smart thing right here. If you're in a short position, just trade sideways. I mean, the cost to borrow is below the overnight rate. So if you've got a money market account and you're getting paid interest on that cash just sitting in your account, you get ahead as a winner, getting a little extra leverage there because the Fed's still at like 5% and you're paying 58 bips on the cost to borrow. That's 4% each month that you're making on an annualized basis for free.
I don't think it's a fantastic short. I mean, if I had to get in the brain of a short, what's your potential to make money? I mean, you're going to have a hard time pushing.
You're just expecting it to slow bleed. Like the cost to borrow is if the Fed seriously is going to keep rates where they are, which is what it sounds like for the rest of this year, you've got a cost to borrow that's at 58 bips. It's trading sideways and seems like potentially it may melt down depending on, I don't own a crystal ball. But if I was looking at it from a position of a short seller, it's like, if it's just going to trade sideways, I get to make free money. You got to be careful. It moves to the upside. You want to get out in a hurry. But
yeah, that's the problem. I think there's still a lot of risk for shorts on Roaring Kitty.
Yeah. I'm not like, I'm just
coming back in.
Trying to look at it from all the different angles that you could. I'm not suggesting that you should short it. Definitely not if you're a retail trader, but some institutional traders might think, Roaring Kitty's moved on to Chewy. This thing may trade sideways or just slowly bleed out. I'm getting paid to be short because the interest rates are still high and the cost to borrow is wickedly low.
I mean, I don't know what it's going to do. It's hard to tell right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know, but I'm trying to give a different angle on it that potentially some people might be thinking about.
Let me be a GME guy for a second. Here's
Okay.
what it's gonna do.
Just draw whatever error you want to.
Let me
put a magnet on there. Put a magnet on your chart.
Let me tell you how I know it's going to do that. Because if I draw this other line here, trend line, look, it can never drop below this. I've heard people say this. It will never go below this line.
Never.
Now, next week when it goes below that line, I'm just going to erase it and you'll forget that I said that.
Careful there, Tony. The Sith only talk in absolutes.
Oh, man. Just put a magnet up there in the top right corner, upside down.
But yeah, right now, from what I'm looking at, it's just kind of falling along the 180-day moving average, just kind of pretty nice and steady.
I feel comfortable enough in, I'd prefer to get an entry around $20. So I'm not in GameStop right now. I'm not opposed to putting a little money on the craps table with Ryan, hoping that he comes out with some good news, but I don't know the timeline on when to expect anything from him because he doesn't fucking tell us anything. And I don't like parking money. I don't want it to sit between 20 and 24 bucks for a year. So, but I might throw a little bit at it if I can get a better entry. And maybe we get some news for the Super Bulls. Maybe Kitty comes back soon and sends it soaring back up to $60. We'll see.
I'm straight up in cash, Tony.
I know. I'm trying to stay mostly in cash right now too.
I don't own anything.
TLT.
What else? Love Star said he was talking about TA for AMC looks bullish. We have thoughts on that. I don't know if we want to go over them tonight.
I mean, technically, yeah, it's trading above all the major averages. It's in the cloud, and the cloud is suggesting it would go upward. This is me doing the bullshit TA that I don't normally do. So I can see that sentiment. I mean, fundamentally, I am a little bit more skeptical. But if you're just looking at a chart, I would tend to agree with that suggestion.
I'm on the record, Corax, of saying I love TA,
Yeah.
but what I hate is people that do TA that don't look at anything else.
Right.
Like we talk TA all day long for entries, for picking out our options plays, for exits. We do a lot of TA work, but you can't do it in a vacuum. You can't ignore the fact that, well, on the bullish side, we got box office, I think, about to kick ass for the next 6
Mhm.
months.
What?
But on the negative side, we got a little bit of concern about Q2 earnings. How's that gonna? Is that just going to be a road bump when that comes out in August? Are we going to be so ecstatic about
Mhm.
box office that Q2 earnings are like, that's in the past. We're moving on. So that's one unknown that I'm only slightly worried about. But really, the thing that I think we're mainly thinking about is that the debt restructuring and
Mhm.
the temptation or the necessity of the company to drop some more shares.
I just want to show you something here, real quick, that I noticed on AMC with the moving averages that I have. You see there, it's about to get pinched between the 30 and the 90 moving average there. And you see kind of this natural like wedge here, and which side it goes on that might be interesting, because the 30-day is coming down and the 90's coming up. And you may see which direction does it go.
What time frame you on?
Hour.
Just to
Should I
catch
show my
everybody
TA,
up,
Tony?
I'm trying to do full disclosure here, Mediocre, so my haters can have something to complain about.
Should I show them my TA?
Yeah,
Go right ahead.
bring up
Here.
your TA. Last week, guys, I sold $5 puts on AMC, so that meant that I was collecting cash and hoping either that the price closed over $5 and I just didn't have to do anything except keep the money, or if it went under $5, I was willing to pay $5 for AMC. So that's where I was at last week. I did not get exercise because we closed at 5:05. So all I did was make money last week. I'm going to reassess on Monday morning. I really wanted to see what box office looked like this weekend. If I'm going to sell puts. Are you thinking about selling puts, Mediocre, next week?
Yeah, I'm thinking about selling puts. I don't want to. I don't want to do anything just yet because of what I'm about to talk about right
All
here.
right.
But I know people aren't going to like what I'm about to show them. But with what you and I talk about and all that, it turns out to be true. And we'll see what happens. There's a point at which I will change my mind. You see on my screen right now, Tony?
Yeah, we see it.
Getting
All
extra
right.
fancy here.
So you see my red resistance line right here?
Yep.
That's at $5.30. I mean, every time it breaks over $5.30, it could push back below every time. And if you look, it just happened again. Was this Friday, Wednesday? It pushed over. Thursday it was pushed back down. I mean, does that mean it's kind of looks like it's consolidating here? This is a 2-hour chart.
Now, doesn't the OBV invalidate everything you just said?
Oh God!
Can't do that while I'm trying to take a drink, Tony. I don't want any spit takes messing up my monitor.
I mean, here's a 4-hour chart. You got the 90 in May, kind of just flat. You got the MACD kind of looking like it's going to go down a little bit, right? We're talking on the 4-hour chart. I mean, it could hook right here and kind of just trade sideways. That's a possibility. I'm not saying that, but a breakout, I'll be looking for a breakout if we get a couple candles close above 530. That's what I see.
And what's the good thing about being in cash right now, Mediocre?
Being in cash, I'm not stuck into play if he dilutes at this level because maybe he thinks it's overpriced. I don't know what he's thinking.
And
And
getting a nice
on the
juicy 5% while you wait.
But I could sell puts at 450, which is way down here, and taking premium and just wait. It'd be patient.
and if that magic run up happens, if
Oh,
you
I
get
could buy
those
right
two
in.
candles, if you get
Yeah,
those two candles
I
and
can
you
enter right here.
out, you can immediately jump in the play.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the fear paralysis people have is like I can't not own the stock because what if it starts running? Well, that's what the buy button's for. If it
I
starts
mean,
running,
look at every
if
time
you're
it
a
touches
momentum trader.
level. I mean, it rejected. So, hey, maybe it's just me. That's a long time, you know. So I don't know. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, and I'm okay with that.
Todd says he sold the $5 puts as well. Yeah, that's kind of my. Since we didn't get any dilution notice, I know Mediocre. I got him so worried about dilution. He was more paranoid than me last week about a dilution notice dropping. We didn't get one last week. I'm going to do my AMC Q2 earnings video tomorrow. As you guys know, it ended up being a much better quarter than I was originally worried about in April and May, even beginning of June. I thought Q2 was going to be pretty bad. It ended up, we got saved by Inside Out 2, thank God. And I've looked at all the movies coming out in Q3 and Q4. The numbers look really, really good. Like there's a decent chance of operating profits and quite possibly positive net income in Q3. Q4, I hesitate to say positive net income because we got to worry about goodwill write-offs.
Mm-hmm.
But
Q3 is usually your guys' best quarter in AMC, right?
Yeah, but I mean the movies in Q4 I think are actually even better than Q3 Corex. So Q4 could be better, but when you're looking at net income, net earnings
Right.
per share in Q4, and you got that goodwill impact, not goodwill, sorry, the impairment of long-lived assets, that can knock down the earnings per share. So we'll have to see, but net, I'm very, very positive about these next 2 quarters. I'm trying not to be overly bullish and get people hyped when I'm also worried, knowing that the company needs to restructure the debt. You guys got to find the balance. If you're watching this channel, you're here for the real. You got to find the balance. This is still a tap dance.
And that restructuring is going to be a bit tricky because the way that Powell keeps talking, he's going to just keep rates up the rest of the year, which means if you do restructure that debt, it's going to be at the higher interest rate, which,
Correct. So want me to ask you the question I asked Tony the other day?
Sure.
All right. Are you ready? It's about AMC.
Lay it on me.
People are going to get mad about this one too.
Mm-hmm.
The Hollywood strike deal was only 2 years.
Ooh.
Until they renegotiate the contract.
Absolutely.
And that was in 2023 that they negotiated.
I got the dates. Hang on, I'll tell you right now. I saved it.
I was thinking about that damn strike and how Massalorian and myself were warning people in middle of 2023. Wait, was it 2022 when they went on strike? 2023.
I know that the strike was during
May,
the lawsuit, wasn't it?
I think May of 2023 is when they went on strike.
And it didn't end until fall of 23.
September 25th, 23 through May 1st of 26.
When did the strike end?
The term of the agreement is from September 25th, 2023.
Right. So it ended in September. May, June,
May
July, August.
1st of 2026.
5 months. We were warning people not to underestimate the impact of the strike on future quarters, and people are like, But I mean, it was pretty devastating to the industry for at least 3 quarters.
Now, I'm not trying to be bearish. Don't get me wrong,
Oh,
but
you're definitely being bearish.
Oh my goodness, he's looking at all the factors that could possibly impact his
how dare you?
investment. How dare you?
How dare you look at some negative news that we don't even got to worry about till the end of 2026, Mediocre. Look, we got a lot of, thank you for that, but we got a lot of time to make money in this play between now and September of
absolutely we
2026,
do.
right? Can we be positive for 1 minute?
I'm positive. I am being positive. I'm just saying. I keep that shit in the back of my mind for the reason you don't know what's going to happen.
You're
That's the thing.
unlocking new levels of fear in my brain. I didn't want to go there yet, but I'm not thinking about 2026 negatives yet. I'm thinking about what is the most possible, the most positive outcome between now and 2025 into 2026. And because I'm very positive on the box office. And what are the gotchas? All right, if I'm positive, how do I rein myself back in to reality? What are the things I need to worry about? Debt restructuring. That's the main thing left. That's really the only thing left. Potential dilution related to debt restructuring. So
Yeah. And I think that will come because, like I said, if the rates seem that they're going to be staying high, barring any catastrophic economic collapse that will force the Fed's hand. So that restructuring is going to be at a not nice interest rate, probably.
The problem that I have, and the only reason why I brought that up, just so everybody can understand what I'm thinking about, is we're going to kick the can down the road for the 2026 debt. That's our goal right now. Okay? So when we get into 2026, if something goes wrong, I'm not saying that it's going to. I'm not saying that at all. But if something goes wrong with the writers again, that's going to hurt us again and put us in another bad spot.
that's
people
2 years away, though, Mediocre. Let's get through 2024 and 2025.
I'm with you, dude. I'm just telling you what goes through my mind.
Raider Bo is Raider Bo a Marantz
From my
person?
channel,
Your
no,
channel.
former. He's a reformed convict that watches my channel.
Is he talks like a GameStop investor?
I mean maybe.
Nobody here is saying that AMC is what you should plan your retirement on, Raider Bo. We're looking for trading opportunities, trying to
I
help
think
people.
there's plenty of trading opportunities.
Absolutely. I
I
mean,
mean,
I was just in at below $3 cost basis, and we had a run up to 12. That was a fine trade.
Speaking of that, like, what's your guys' thoughts on Nvidia? You think if it comes back down to where it was before that huge run up on what was that, the third? It looks like back down to around like 120. That sound like a good thing for you guys on Nvidia, or?
I wouldn't count Nvidia out yet, but I mean it got a little pricey there. I own a little bit of Nvidia, and if it drops a little bit, I'll buy some more. But that's not my long-term play. My long-term play, my Discord already knows it. Don't spoil it in the chat. I'm going to put out a video in the next week or two. I own one of the Nvidia competitors too that I actually like better for a 5-year play.
We were on my channel looking at, let me see if I can find it off of my Discord, but apparently they're getting into the actual processor space for computers. And let me see if I can find it here. Oh, Qualcomm. Because they're starting to do laptop processors. And I'm thinking, if they're using ARM-based processors, and it seems like they've worked out the bugs on Windows on ARM, and these computers can run pretty nice, you might see another competitor in the laptop space as far as laptop processors to go along with Intel and ARM and AMD. And you can see some maybe Qualcomm getting a push.
I'm going to start covering some of these semiconductor stocks, Corex, because I had an interest in covering the EV stocks till I realized they're all trash. So
Yeah.
I think I still will cover them from time to time, but I'm going to spend more of my free research time looking at some NVIDIA and its competitors. I want to give Sparky a moment here, though. He says AMC does not need more cash if box office holds. Let's give this man a round of applause. Thank you for that, Sparky. And let me put the chat bubble back up so people can see what else he said. Run-ups mean debt for equity swaps until they get the pick out. Maybe not all at once, but what's left? A couple $100 million. 700 million is left. $700 million. And we have 195 million shares, Sparky. So this is the math that us worrywarts are doing. You got $700 million. Sparky, here's a question for you. Do they need to, what's the absolute minimum? I don't even know how to ask this question. We know that they want to pay off some of that 10, 12 pick toggle to get a better debt restructuring. Is there a scenario you could envision where they don't touch it and they do a debt restructuring? And if that is not the case, what is a reasonable amount that they need to chop off if they can't get rid of all of it? That's my question. Gabe says, have I done a video on covered calls? I just did one on cash secured puts, and covered calls is up next, Gabe. That'll be on tap for this week. Nobody fucking watches those videos, though. It's amazing to me. The most helpful videos I make, nobody watches them.
Yeah, I know, right?
While we're waiting on Sparky to type up his response, Crismo says the action execution of how it works and how to roll them wouldn't be a bad video idea. Yeah, the covered call video will be part of the wheel. It'll be a dual purpose. He says there's no substitute to just jumping in. I think, Crismo, you should jump in on paper trading first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you're in a Discord where you can ask questions before you hit the buy or sell button on your options, because we just had an incident a couple weeks ago where someone did a no-no and they sold a bunch of call options that were going to put them in a world of hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to, he asked me about it right after he did it. And I said, well, was this what you were thinking was going to happen? He's like, no, not at all. I was like, well, you're about to get fucked. And he was able to back out the trade. He sold calls or he sold puts, but whatever he did, he was thinking the opposite and he did the wrong trade. So you got to be careful jumping in. Now, if you're jumping in with $100, it's not a big deal, but this was not $100 trade that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And if you're going to trade AMC, you're talking one contract's $500 at the very least. You're trading at 502, it's $502.
Just out of curiosity, Tony, since we were briefly talking about semiconductors, is there a particular one you were like, is AMD, Intel, Qualcomm, ARM? You said it's some of them that were like not NVIDIA.
One of those that you mentioned is one that I'm going to be providing long-term coverage of, yes.
I think I know which one, but I won't say it.
And I don't have any inside information, but I know people that work at NVIDIA. So I'm basing my DD just on asking questions like a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah, you need to find a competitor, Tony. Here's the one I recommend. Not that they're bearish on NVIDIA in the short term, but
I mean, when you have
These
NVIDIA,
things are cyclical.
yeah, when you have a company that is doing so well like NVIDIA is, and right now they sort of have a barrier to entry because they're just so ahead of the game right now. But a lot of these companies are going to see that window and they want a slice of the pie. And it's more likely that you're going to get a better price with some of these competitors than you will with NVIDIA because it's already had its run up.
That's why I'm buying it now. Yes, that not NVIDIA. That's why I'm buying the competitor now while it's still under the radar. But I will be getting some videos out, and whether I'm right or wrong in the next 5 years, you're just gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
Anya
I will
says,
say that I'm short-term bearish on Intel, but I'm long-term bullish. Like I'm not buying right now, but once it gets that foundry up and going, and if its GPU space, if its GPUs can stay at least competitive with AMD, I think it has a positive long-term future. Just getting to Raider Bo's comment.
yeah, I see it. Anya says, any thoughts on Tesla? Tesla had a little bit of a run there last week, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
I mean, Tesla is the only decent EV company. Anya, I don't know that I want to pay $251 for it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
God dang, man, look at that freaking chart.
Yeah, it moved.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have a feeling it's going to come back down though. Like there's been nothing like fundamentally bullish about Tesla. Like its sales have been down. It's been getting beat up on the whole Cybertruck thing. It's just people like the robot. It's like, guys, but it sells cars. Its main business is cars, and EVs are getting obliterated right now, no matter who's selling them. I don't get that price move at all.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it in depth enough to have an intelligent comment tonight, Anya. Occasionally, I'll do options plays or momentum trades on Tesla. I haven't recently, but man, what a missed opportunity in the last couple weeks. If I had to guess, looking at that chart, not sustainable.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Anya said, should I hold Tesla? What's your cost basis, Anya? Sparky says they may have to ask for more shares if they get the pick out with higher AMC, much easier. What he's saying is if they're able to buy out those 10, 12 bonds due to AMC share price going higher, then it's easier for the company. Yeah. The best case for all of us.
163. Wow. That's all the way back down at the bottom of its like last low.
Anya, did you buy
all the way down?
Were you with me, Anya, when we were buying back here at $100? I can't remember if you were in my Discord back then or not.
I mean, I would personally like a run up that's almost $100 per share. I would be getting out if it showed any sign of weakness, because I just don't see it staying up there at 250.
Anya, I don't know how many shares you have. I know you're what's the nicest way to say this? You're often reluctant to take profits. So depending on your position size, as it's running up, you might with a cost basis of 163, you might consider lightening up a little bit
Yeah.
into run up. And if it turns negative, you might consider lightening all the way up and then waiting to see if it comes back down here to the 165 range.
Because I think that's where it goes.
But yeah, I need to go look at the news on Tesla. What I'm reading is that the current news that came out in the last week in no way justified this price run up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm reading. I haven't done my own DD yet. So that's why I'm being very waffly about a firm answer, because I've been involved looking at other stuff. Yeah, getting back to Sparky's comment, this is that very difficult discussion on AMC. Like, we know box office is going to be good. Let me look at the other movie theaters here real quick. We know box office is we expect box office is going to be very good for the rest of this year. That should be bullish for all of the movie theater companies. Cinemark has been ticking up. You can see that here. This is the beginning of 2024, 13 to 21 bucks. IMAX since the beginning of the year, 13. It's only trading at 16. I have a 12-month price target on IMAX of 21 bucks by August of 2025. And I did buy some IMAX on this dip right here. $14.99 and $15.20. So the headwinds AMC has, it ran up after the dilution news got out of the way, and we're just kind of coasting. And I think we can comfortably coast in this range and maybe even slowly tick up if the box office is good. But the more that happens, the more I can't ignore the fact that they need to refinance the debt. And everybody that is intelligent that I'm talking to tells me that that's going to involve some more dilution, be it, most likely debt for equity swaps.
I'd be hesitant about the whole energy storage thing with Tesla on you, because I find that talking point keeps coming out when the price runs up or there's some sort of bad news about the car business, which is their core business. And it seems like a narrative that comes out, even though that the energy storage thing is a minor part of their business. So I personally would just be careful and a bit skeptical about people who are promoting that. If they're just trying to hold up the price and don't want people selling, or if that is actually something that is actually bullish. Like if Tesla turned around and became an energy company, yeah, sure, maybe, but it's a car company.
You got to really think about, Anya, what is going to be the future of EVs. And I think there's a lot of debate on that still at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
The Tesla people would say, oh, no way, everybody's going to have an EV in 10 years. I think the jury is still out on that.
Yeah, and you need to see some fundamental changes, not only in power delivery, but lithium production. Because if everyone has an electric vehicle, you're looking at like, okay, how much lithium is that? Because, given current production, from what I understand, there's no way to do that, because lithium's in your laptop batteries. Lithium is in your cell phone batteries. Lithium is in a lot of even the energy storage backups that Tesla runs. So you got to think about like, what does that sort of future look like, and what changes need to happen to the inputs into that to keep prices where they are, or what kind of strain is that going to put on the price of these vehicles, the price on the power grid, all sorts of different factors that go into that.
Yeah, the grid's not going to be able to support all that. That's the other thing.
The good news, Anya, is now that I've pretty much decided that most of the keeping up with all of these other EV companies is not worth my time. That frees up a lot of time for me to start paying a lot more attention to Tesla and putting out more regular content on it. So stay tuned.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I get when I decide that I'm going to start really paying attention to one stock.
Yeah.
You'll get some good information out of this channel. Whether or not it ends up being correct is going to be up to the market, but you'll get some detailed information. I love the discussion about autonomous vehicles and the car sharing. I don't know if Lorenzo is talking about the sharing of the cars. Have you guys heard about that? Like everyone's going to have a Tesla and you can just sign it up on the app and all your neighbors can use your car. I don't know if that's really how they envision it. I don't see that working out.
Well, and you also have to think about like if everyone's doing that, like what is the real value to the person on the individual level, because you got to put market factors into there. If everyone is doing this, then what's the demand actually for that, and how much money can you make off of that demand? And
you're talking about as the car owner renting out your car. Yeah. I could see that plan working out, but I think it will be small business owners that go buy 10 or 20 Teslas to make it a fleet operation.
Yeah.
Like the people do with the Amazon delivery stuff. You know, they'll go create a small business and they'll buy some vans and trucks and they'll hire drivers. I don't think that people, once they realize how inconvenient it is having people use your car and ruin it.
From insurance.
Yeah. I think normal people like you and me, they might think it's a great idea right now, or even Tesla bulls might think that people will think that's a great idea. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think the reality will smack people real quick, how people will fuck up your vehicle.
Yep.
Mediocre Trader, is that a comment that you want me to pull up?
No, it's up to you. I just here.
All right. I see it here. Is this the real CSI? Can you click on his?
It's probably yes.
What's up, CSI? Hopefully you watched the. Sorry, I missed your call. First of all, hopefully you watched the Chewy video today and found it helpful. He says, "Why won't Adam consider a rights offering to shareholders? We only have 150 million shares left." I think it is correct to be worried about the number of shares left. Here's my honest opinion. No one from AMC has talked to me. Half the time, if I write them an email, they don't even fucking answer me. But as I was reading through the court documents, remember that court case in 2023, and they were talking about doing the rights offering versus the ape. And I was looking through all the slides about the rights offering. It's kind of complicated to explain, first of all. Second of all, if someone doesn't have the money to participate in a rights offering, they're going to be diluted anyways. Do you guys understand what I'm saying, Mediocre?
So it's like an offering direct. So it's a rights offering, I guess, to put in my mind, is sort of like these like poison pill anti-takeover measure kind of thing.
You offer shares to existing shareholders, but if you don't have any money to buy the rights offering, you're going to get diluted anyway. So there's going to be unhappy people.
Exactly.
You can't protect yourself against.
It's not like this. Yeah. It's not like it saves everybody. First of all, let's just get that out of the way. There's going to be a lot of people not happy about it. There's going to be people that gladly would buy a rights offering.
CSI, I just want you to know I'm with you, buddy, about the amount of shares left.
The other thing that happens with rights offerings is the companies have a target amount they need to raise. And if they don't get a full subscription on the rights offering, then what? If they needed to raise $250 million, but they were to only get 100 million people sign up for the rights offering, then what do? Do you cancel the rights offering? They have I think the ability to pay extra money for insurance to make I don't know what's the right word, not a market maker. Who is the one that helped the sales agent? They can pay extra money to force someone to buy it, but that's an extra cost.
And sort of like that, like how the how the Treasury has their prime banks, and if people don't buy it up on the open market, those people are forced to warehouse the extra.
Yeah, or the other thing that happens with rights offerings, if they can't get a full subscription, is they just cancel it. And so I think, this is just my opinion, that AMC weighed the complexity and the uncertainty of doing a rights offering versus Antara was ready to go and write a check, and they went with the layup. Yeah, that's what I think. Could we ever get them to answer that? I don't know.
Not.
I don't know. Anytime I ask them a tough question, they don't answer me. I'm not opposed to a rights offering. I'm certainly not. But those are some things for you to dig into. Go research what happens if a company doesn't get a full subscription on their rights offering. I don't even know what percentage of time it happens, but it does happen. Maybe in a fanatical fan base like AMC,
you might be able to pull it off.
You might be able to pull it off. But I think at the point where they did Ape, they went with the easy layup.
Mm-hmm. And it was far less complicated. I mean, like you said, with the rights offering thing, it's a bit complicated to explain to a retail shareholder base, where people were even getting confused with the whole Ape offering thing and all that stuff. So.
Frank says Sparky is right on the money with his DD. Let me get myself off the big screen here. I hate being the one. I never look over here and realize that we're not all.
Yeah.
I really wish, Corex, that we could have a default view where whenever you turn off a screen share that it would go back.
There's a lot of complaints I have with I like Restream and what it offers, but there's some things that just kind of niggle at me. And that's one of them.
They want to have too much control.
Sparky says a rights offering is still selling shares and it still comes out of the shelf. I mean, at the end of the day, whether it's a rights offering or a private negotiated transaction, it's still dilution. So do you really think that people aren't going to complain? Everyone that doesn't like dilution is going to complain about any form of dilution. I think the ones that hate it the most. I mean, there are literally people that still think that AMC had no bankruptcy risk in 2023. They don't understand why they needed to raise money. Those are very loud, vocal.
I love those people because they're the people who are also and Adam Aaron was deliberately trying to make the company go bankrupt.
Yeah, I mean,
pick the lane.
It's the popcorn. It's the popcorn project people. They are in absolute denial that the company was in bankruptcy risk. They don't believe Standard & Poor's credit risk write-ups. They don't believe Moody's. They don't believe the bond prices being depressed indicate bankruptcy. They don't believe any of 5 analysts that cover the stock. They don't believe the company. They only believe what they want. And that is, don't dilute me because I need a short squeeze. If you're willing to overlook overwhelming evidence from all sorts of independent sources, I don't know how to help you. Not you, anyone watching right now, but these people that get mad about dilution. The company, look at Cineworld right now, not Cinemark. Cineworld, the number 2 sized company, privately owned now after having $4.5 billion in debt written
Liquidating
off
a
in
bunch of
2023.
theaters.
Now still having new bankruptcy risk, having to close 25% of their theaters in the UK. This is not all roses out here when you're a big company.
You guys want to
Cineworld,
know how much I hate dilution? I hate it so much that I look for it purposely so I can not get diluted.
Mm-hmm.
none of us like dilution, but there comes a point where you have to explain to people it's dilution or bankruptcy. Which do you prefer?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean
And if you
you need to stay in the play.
That's right.
Just
If you don't
telling you
like
what's gonna
dilution, you
happen.
can exit the play and re-enter after it's
If you
done.
don't like it, step out for a few weeks.
Yeah. And here's the thing is like, if you think bankruptcy is such an easy answer, go ask the Bed Bath and Beyond people how that's working out for them.
Yeah, or any of a dozen other companies that I've
Yeah.
watched go bankrupt. That
Look,
retail, they wave the flag of shorts are scared. They've got to cover. I've watched a dozen or more go into bankruptcy over the last
you're going to
couple
see
of years.
much more of that sort of thing. We're in some economically trying times. Like we've had bankruptcy. The number of bankruptcies have been going up since the Fed started to hike rates. So it's a serious risk for a lot of companies. Some companies that you wouldn't even have thought. Like, what was it last year? Yellow, one of the biggest trucking companies in the
Who would
United
think
States.
that a trucking company would go bankrupt?
They bought too many trucks.
I guess so.
During COVID.
Coming up next on your bankruptcy watch, FFIE and MULN, Mullen and FFIE. And you still got people that hate dilution and hate Adam Aaron pumping Mullen.
Speaking of Mullen,
have you seen that at all? Corex? These guys call Adam Aaron out as a criminal and they hate dilution, but they're literally pumping Mullen.
Yeah.
Some of the Popcorn Project people.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Mullen, I just got done talking about that lawsuit like Saturday, where the court was like, you better have my $24 million in that arbitration, into that escrow there before we get to now, because this was a court ruling, and Mullen has said they don't have the 24 million. So where do you think the 24 million is coming from?
I can't wait to find out.
I think I know where it's coming from. And Tony, you saw the live stream. I think you know where I think the money's coming from.
I don't understand why people can't realize that you are the bank for the company. When they need money, they're going to reach in.
You were cheaper than getting
what
debt.
they need out.
Yep.
That's why they're in a publicly traded market. The secondary market is to raise capital when it's needed.
Absolutely.
CSI said, in an ideal situation, if you invest in a profitable company, the only time you buy the stock is on the IPO and you only reap rewards after that. But retail is fixated on investing in companies which are losing money. And the longer you hold them, there's only a couple outcomes. The company becomes profitable, you get lucky. That happens. Or they go bankrupt or you get diluted. The easiest way, if you hate dilution, is don't pick these kind of plays for your buy and hold plays. Now, I enjoy them because there are trading opportunities. But if you hate dilution, just look at the income statement, make sure that there's no negatives on it, and you won't ever have to worry about this. If you're buying companies that have
dilution,
if you're buying companies that have a lot of negatives on the EPS, you're probably going to be diluted. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I bought and hold this thing up to 72 and back down, Tony. I don't buy and hold no stocks. I don't.
Yeah, we did our little experiment, Mediocre. We gave retail a chance. We gave 3 years of 2021 to late 20, over 2 years of giving all of these theories a chance, and I'm just done with it.
I don't care if your company's name is Costco. or Microsoft. I
Costco don't got to worry about
know.
losing money. CSI says, I think we're close to bankruptcy. I don't think we're close to bankruptcy unless the lenders don't play ball.
Yeah.
Sparky,
And
are you still here, Sparky?
And I think the lenders right now are kind of incentivized to play ball because, like CSI said, Adam Aaron is prioritizing keeping the company solvent. So until that changes, I think that, they decide to go voluntary. I don't think the debt holders are going to force bankruptcy because right now, Adam Aaron's bending over backwards to make sure that if they don't have the money based on the cash flows that they're having come in, that he's going to go and make another offering or a debt for equity swap or something.
I mean, Adam already said that there's going to be no bankruptcy in 2024. So, he's expecting a recovery and he's expecting to make a deal. I think he makes a deal, right? But in order to make the deal, it's going to cost us some shares, some more dilution. That's just what I think. And that's why I'm so cautious. I don't want people to think I'm extremely bearish on the stock. I'm not. I think we're recovering well, right? But we got some issues that we need to take care of. Right?
We were okay. That's a good clarification to know.
The company still has conservatively 700 to 900 million of cash raise capability with the shares that they have left. So I don't really see bankruptcy on the table. And there's
and he clarified and said we were during the lawsuit time period, 2022, 2023.
Okay. Yeah.
I agree with him.
There's little doubt from somebody who can look at the financials or read a credit report that there was risk there. But yeah, right now we're not at risk of, I'm not going to say never, but we only have green flags from box office. We've got a decent amount of cash and we've got a decent amount of cash raise ability. So I'm not worried about the company. I am worried about you guys. This is that dangerous point where do we buy in where it's safe to get in to enjoy the price run up if the box office looks good versus the risk of dilution. That's what you need to be thinking about. And there's a lot of people that won't tell you the second part. I'm not bearish on AMC. I think the future looks really good, but as a investor, you need to be thinking about future risk of dilution. I'd like to get in at that magic point where I get in at the low right when they finish the debt restructuring, and then I only enjoy the ride up. But I can't tell you where that magic point is because we don't have debt restructuring news yet.
Just glancing back over at futures, it looks like I think it's still pre-market for Europe because it's like, I want to say about closer to us, like the UK, it's still like 5 a.m, but some parts of Europe are starting to wake up and have their markets open. DAX and Eurostock 50 are bending green and Dixie's starting to fade. Seeing a little bit of recovery, but it's still red on futures here for the US. Dow Jones, S&P, NASDAQ, Russell, all down at least 1/10.
Same old. Don't forget, Corex. The market is about to crash, but GameStop will survive.
Magically.
Well, I want to talk about this ETF that's 400% shorted.
What?
The Spider 500. What's the ticker symbol on that one, Mediocre? Do you remember off the top of your head?
Look at that. That's craziness.
XRT or something?
XRT, yeah. It's got
the retail space? Yeah, well.
It's got a long history of having FTDs and being shorted. And it's just funny to me. I'm going to just point out something I find amusing. Mm-hmm. People will tell you that the market is going to crash, but I don't understand why XRT is shorted so much.
XRT is like, because retail is highly cyclical. Let me look at short interest right now, which is currently setting at, holy Christ alive, almost 350%. I think a lot of it has to do with just like the current market we're in right now. The Fed's keeping rates high. You're seeing the, retail space getting banged up. Like one of the stocks I currently hold is like an XRT. I don't know if they're held by XRT, but it's retail, specialty retail. It's getting the crap kicked out of it. Like if you're in this sort of transition period between the Fed possibly cutting rates and actual slack in the economy, yeah, retail is going to get beat up. And that's why I think you got such a high short interest on it and all this stuff, because people are expecting, if the Fed really wants to keep rates higher for longer, as Jerome Powell keeps saying, that retail is going to be the sector that gets punished.
Don't you think, though, if you're a influencer that's making content saying the market is going to crash, it's being propped up by 6 stocks, that you could also then make the leap to understand why XRT is being heavily shorted?
Yeah, because...
But in their minds, XRT being heavily shorted is pointing to crime. I don't understand why it's so shorted. The market's going to crash. And that's going to save GameStop.
My big thing with that whole theory is if you think that the market's going to crash, why aren't you buying bonds? Like, what the fuck logic is that? Like, if you think the market's going to crash, why are you in equities, period?
Because your favorite ticker, XYZ, is going to be the one that soars when the market crashes.
Yep. It's going to the moon.
Which makes no sense logically. Like,
yeah.
If the market crashes, everything's going down.
Yeah. Everything's going down except bonds. Well, the bond yield is going to go down, but face value, for those of us that got in while the getting was good.
What's up, Stockland Trades? Greetings. All right, guys, get a few more questions in here. We're going to go a few more minutes. We're at 10:42 my time.
Mm-hmm.
Corex, you got any other, what else timely? We talked about Mullen for a second. We're worried about their legal settlement. Who is it, Jim, that
Jim is like, where it is right now with that arbitration is the arbitrator has already approved both the interim measures order, which is what they're dealing with in the court right now, and the final judgment on that arbitration. The court has approved the interim measures order, which is basically, you keep this money in escrow because we don't expect that you will be liquid enough when the final order comes down that you'll have that cash. And sure enough, Mullen doesn't have the cash. Funny that. And so the court is demanding that, I don't care how you come up with the 24 million, better be here.
Yep.
So if I get the feeling they've been issued a show cause order from the court, which means you're in violation of court order. The other party has asked the court for what's called a show cause, which is basically, this is what the court order is. Tell us why you haven't followed through on what the court has told you to do. What reasons do you have to disobey this court order? Or how are you going to remedy this, that you haven't put this 24 million in escrow? That is due Monday at 12 o'clock Eastern time. They have a shareholder meeting Tuesday.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, that's why they were trying to get it in Monday. Like, they wanted an expedited show.
What are they covering at the shareholder meeting?
I guess
is it a
new
vote?
Equity line of credit or something.
There's a vote?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. All right.
So they like Jem is like, where is our money, bitch?
Hang on, Sparky, 1 second. Let me just read his comment real quick, because I just want to say one other comment on the XRT ETFs. I think that a lot of the mystery, this is just my opinion, I'm not an ETF expert, but when we look at the short interest and the failures to deliver on the ETFs, it is my guess that some retail traders, unless you're an expert like Dave Lauer, maybe Dave has talked about it, that there might be some misunderstanding about what's going on with the short interest and the failures to deliver on XRT due to the share creation, share redemption. And I think that's kind of what Sparky is hinting at here, possibly.
I don't discount that there could be potentially manipulation CSI, but you need to substantiate it. And also you can be over 100% short and nothing illegal going on. I can short a share. Tony does it. And then he puts up his share for share lending, and Mediocre shorts it. And then it goes back in the market and someone else buys it. That's perfectly legal. And you'd still have a 3x short position deep. That's how you get these weird percentages, because market participants are blind to what other market participants are doing.
To answer the question, did I sell Disney? I had bought Disney at $85. I sold it into the run up, and I'm watching it on the way back down for a re-entry. When it gets to the point where I think I want to buy it again, I'll make another video. CSI says, do y'all discount totally
that's what I was just
manipulation of the
explaining.
stock? Nope. Mediocre, what's your favorite phrase about manipulation?
My favorite phrase is, if you want to change manipulation, you're going to have to change Congress.
And the second favorite phrase, while we're waiting on changing Congress, be a
barnacle on the whale.
Be a barnacle on the whale.
I also, to that endeavor, believe in like the Sagan standard. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And if you're going to claim some sort of crime or manipulation, I would like to see the evidence for it.
I completely agree that there is probably illegality happening. We see people getting fined for it all the time. There's gray line stuff happening all the time. There's plenty of ways they can manipulate prices legally. Legal shorting, the failure to deliver process. It's codified. I mean, they have a process where they can fail to deliver and not get in trouble as long as they fix it within a certain amount of days. But then the other thing that we don't really talk about is swaps, like equity swaps, ways they can short stuff that doesn't even show up in the short interest.
See, that's one of my big things that I wish they would fix, because I find short interest, I wish it was updated daily and it'd be more transparent.
I do too.
And the other thing that I think is the most useless tool that people use all the time, and I think they should separate it out from market maker participation and actual shorts. But short volume is the most useless fucking statistic. Yeah. If they made it get more useful for where it was actually just shorts, not market makers creating a market, so you could actually see what is really short volume.
I think that the big leap that people can make in becoming better traders is you can believe in market manipulation all you want.
I do.
I do too. You can believe in it all you want, and I will never criticize you. However, if you're going to go to the grave having a portfolio full of companies which are losing money and saying, I'm going to keep on investing in these monies, I'm going to keep on investing money in these companies until the corruption is fixed. Well, you could be in a long wait for Congress to fix the corruption. And in the meantime, it might be better to consider what are the ways that I maybe can change up my trading style to not lose money on these plays.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go out on a limb here with a CSI's comment, not to be an asshole, but I'm going to make myself the villain here. It's like we do that in all sorts of markets, not just security markets, selling things that yet to have
Tony, please comment
asset. Like some housing providers like Pulte Homes and stuff like that. They sell houses before they're even built, and then the buyer takes over once the house is built. So like it's about matching sellers with buyers. And so to create that liquidity, you have pre-orders that are sold by like GameStop or these other gaming companies all the time. So I'd be very careful. Like, don't get me wrong. If there is actual criminal activity, sure. If someone's selling a house that they had no intention of, building, that's a problem. But I'd be really careful about pitching out the baby with the bathwater on that.
Tony, put up his other comment about infinite liquidity. I want to let CSI know that I did watch his video, and he does have somewhat of a point. But what's going on is legal. It's legal. They allow market makers to do that. Now I'm with you, right? I want true supply and demand as well. Okay, but
Hmm.
that's not how the rules are written. And the only way to change the rules is to change Congress because Congress
Yeah.
makes the fucking laws.
The
I
other
totally and I agree with him. I totally am happy to have this discussion. I'm sure that there are going to be points we disagree on, but I think the discussion is important. I would agree.
The other thing that was kind of eye-opening to me, and I wish I wish I could find this interview, but it was someone talking about how the SEC almost purposely turns a blind eye to the shorting malfeasance that's going on there because of what happened in the dot-com era where a bunch of companies got ran up and far beyond their
Hmm.
true value. And they almost, if I can summarize this interview, what he basically said is the SEC is allowing the shorts to short these fucking stocks to get them down to a fair value and turning a
Well,
blind eye on it because the SEC knows what they can look at a financial statement and know what a fair value of a stock is too.
and
When
I think
something gets overvalued, it's the market is going to drive it down to a fair value price. Our biggest problem as retail traders as a collective
Mhm.
is stubbornness and not admitting what a fair value price is. Well, I bought AMC at 72. That must be what it's worth. I don't understand why it's down 98%. Then that tells me
Yeah.
you haven't, not you, I'm not picking on anybody, but anyone that says that about any ticker, that tells me you're not really looking at the financials. You're not looking at ratio analysis. You're not looking at any objective way that any of us that are trained in finance or accounting determine what is a fair value.
Mhm.
You got fair value and you got market value, and they're often different, but they tend to drive to the same price over time.
Yeah. And I would say that like the SEC has admitted like they've had, reports on stuff like that, like shorting, and well, that's the SEC's opinion. I wouldn't go maybe necessarily as far as you did, but like the SEC has said that, so long as they're doing it legally, like short sellers have a legitimate market purpose. And that's like what you said, Tony. If a price gets out of line and it doesn't match fundamentals, then it creates an opportunity in the other direction because that company is trading far beyond what its fundamental value is.
I'm no fan of Ken Griffin or anybody that does shorting because I see the pain that it causes people that lose money, but everybody needs to get smarter about not overpaying for stocks or at least admit to yourself, I'm buying this into a momentum run up. I know it's fucking overvalued and I hope it goes higher. And if it does, I'm going to sell it. But if it turns against me, I know damn well I overpaid for this stock and I'm not going to ride it all the way back down. And
And take some security in some like make that a small part of your portfolio. Take some security in something like VU, which just follows market indexes and is got a long-term track record of giving you a market rate that you can have security in while you go and look for things that gives you that edge over the normal market averages.
So Tony, I agree with you, and I'm glad this conversation is actually happening because, there's a lot of animosity between other influencers and the people in the market, right? And you and I, we come out here every night and we talk about what fair value of a stock and stuff like that.
we get shit on all the time for talking
Right,
about fair value, but there's a reason why we beat this drum.
exactly. It's because we don't want to see you guys getting fucking smashed because the stock is overvalued because we know that they're going to short the fucking thing down. That's what they're going to do. That's the problem, and it pissed me off when they did that shit from 72 down to wherever, and then we went through the whole conversion reverse split. That shit really, really pissed me off, to be honest. And I was partly at fault. I could have sold at the top. I knew better. I didn't, just like others. But I'm good. I'm profitable, and I'm profitable. Why? Because I don't play the game no more. I don't allow them to. If I can tell that the stock is overvalued, I'm not going to pay for it. I'll wait because I know it's going to come back to a fundamental value.
I think fundamentally, all of us kind of have that same thing. There's a reason why I start all of my Prince of Mount Stupid live streams with that Peter Lynch clip. I think we all agree that, we're trying to help educate people that there's a reason why stocks go up and down. And it's understanding why that happens, the fundamental value, understanding a company, what its business is, what it does, so you can make educated decisions when you decide to make them rather than getting caught in these traps.
Right, and to be honest, like I'm not saying that there's not corruption that happens. I think corruption does happen. I'm on your side, but I'm not willing to give up all my money for corruption that will probably never fix anyways. Because the only way to fix it is through Congress.
I know there's people, watching this that think I'm an idiot for not being willing to buy GameStop at 24 because I'd rather wait till 20. Well,
heck, I'd rather wait for back down where it was when we started this whole run. I should have bought it down to 10.
I'd rather wait for 18, to be honest, Corex, but it still has a lot of retail momentum behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you get the difference between fundamental value, which is around $11 for GameStop until they have earnings, real earnings, not the couple pennies they had in Q4.
But that's the thing is we can overpay a little bit, Tony, and we know we're going to protect our position.
We know how to protect it, right?
Or if you have like a risky security like I have with Kirk that's gotten beaten up, that there's buy offers there where people are looking to buy and take it private. So you have some downside protection that someone may come in and buy it for above what you're paying for it now. And but you got to be careful. You got to keep that as a small part of your portfolio.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The other thing I do in these plays, and the reason why I've never been stressed about AMC, is I don't invest my entire portfolio in a speculative play. It's a side bet for me.
That's one of those things that I think it's like, I see a lot of retail investors, they listen to people like they should, like Warren Buffett, but they don't listen to the context. Like when, like a classic example is like, buy while the market is fearful, and, sell when the market is being greedy. It's like, you got to be careful with like truisms like that. Or the one that I saw getting abused a lot was, if you think the play is 100%, then you should be 100% in it. Well, AMC isn't what Warren Buffett would consider a 100% play. There's a lot of risk in there. There's a lot of not 100% in there. The arbitrage trade, that wasn't 100% play because it was getting approved one way or the other. So you gotta understand when you're listening to these truisms on the internet, you need to read beyond just the statement. You got to understand the context in which it's being said.
When I know I can speak for Mediocre here. When AMC was dropping below $3 and people were calling for it to go to $1.50, we were like, buy when people are fearful. We knew the financials, we knew the fundamental value, we knew the 1 and 2 year outlook, and we felt very comfortable taking a bigger size risk at that point, and we got paid off pretty good for that. Yeah, but why did I do that? Because I'm paying damn close attention to the financials and the fundamentals, and that was a good buy at that time. Was it risky? Yeah, it's still risky. Company's not profitable. For the same reason I don't hold any AMC right now at $5 after selling in that run up in May. I'm ready to get back in, but I'm being very particular about it.
I lost all my
because of the dilution risk.
And I did it willingly.
I'm very bullish about the box office. Like I'm itching to get back in, but I'm just like GameStop. I'm being picky about it because I know what is ahead. And despite all the pumpers and all the drum beating, I know that the debt needs to be refinanced. I know that they need to probably do some debt for equity swap. So I'm being cognizant of my risk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chris says, what do you guys think of David Winger and share intel with Wes Christian?
Oh, Jesus.
Is Dave Winger the guy that's on the video with the F5 thing? I think that's him.
I already, like, I don't know anything about the situation, but Wes Christian was mentioned. And I'm already got my radar up for
Chris. I'm just gonna say, I'm open to ever seeing Wes do something, but I'm tracking 30 stocks that share intel and Wes Christian are involved in. I have a whole watch list on my Webull, and so far they've all only gone into the toilet. So not a huge fan based on results, but I remain ever hopeful. All right, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Corax, you got any closing comments?
Just be smart, guys. Take the time, do the research. It will help you, because not only will you have the security of knowing you've done the research, but you it'll definitely save you. If you have to think hard about the plays, you'll get into a lot less riskier ones, and it will limit your portfolio. So the things that you know about it. So you'll definitely have a better perspective overall on things.
My closing remark to everybody is try not to hate people that might have a different perspective on the play. Like Mediocre and I spend a lot of time. Sorry, I got the bot reading the chat here. Mediocre and I spend a lot of time talking about fundamental value, and we get a lot of hate for that. Me particularly. We're retail traders just like you guys. Nobody pays us for anything we say. We don't have any professional certifications. We've been doing this a long time, but we just have a different perspective that there are ways to make money in these plays if you can kind of let go a little bit of some of the social media drum beating, pay more attention to the financials and the fundamentals. I'm trading a lot of the stocks you guys are, but I'm trading them profitably and not
Tony,
just
put up CSI's last
holding
comment.
them down into the grave. Next time, answer your damn phone. I really wanted to work a phone bit into the Chewy video. It was just getting a little bit long, CSI. Thank you for finally having a sense of humor about it, because I used that humor bit on Donahue and he was cool with it. Then I pivoted and used a similar version on you. You got mad, or maybe you just were feigning madness for views. I don't really care. It's cool, but I'm glad you came around on your last video. But the funny thing was, when you were asking those questions about Chewy, I was already asking the same questions, and I've been looking into it for over a week. So hopefully whatever I put on that video helps you understand what's going on. It is complicated, and I think people should try and understand it. And hopefully we hear, all of us, from Roaring Kitty about what the fuck he's doing with Chewy. I don't know if he owns shares. I don't know if he bought call options. I don't know. He could file that Schedule 13G off of either one. So we'll find out. We'll find out at some point. Mediocre, you got any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for listening tonight. And don't think I'm super bearish on AMC. I know I talk a lot about stuff that's in the future and stuff like that. I'm just thinking about in general, right? Like, I want to be in a safe trade, and that's all. But I appreciate every one of you. CSI, thanks for coming in. Appreciate the talk. Corax, good to have a conversation with you guys. And Tony, as usual, good night, everybody.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to play the outro, and so it'll be a couple minutes of music if you want to listen. And if not, we will see you tomorrow in the Discord. And I've got my AMC Q2 video coming out soon, hopefully on Monday.
So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane, it's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall, I've come to take it all. I'll take it, I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall, I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
Push until I fall
I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be